great that the Adelaide Lightning are back in the competition.
Case, is Steph Talbot still growing?
It looks as though she's in great shape.
Wow.
Look at, speaking of great shape, what about those numbers?
Bryce 22. He's beaten Southeast Melbourne Phoenix by himself.
Maldonado thought about going solo inside, and Geordie Hunter comes up with his first score in the game. So 4 minutes played here in this second period. Isaac White uses Kenyon, back to Cotton. Man, they can't stop at the moment. He's doing the whole bag of tricks. Off the mark, caught it short. Maldonado the rebound, wants to run. Past Cotton and Kenyon. Now Kenyon comes back for seconds. They force the trap. Quick whistle from Michael Aylen. Foul is going to be called on Adelaide's Bryce Cotton.
Right as we oohed and out over that last move by Cotton, it just highlights the fact that if you don't do something early in the game and you allow him to find his rhythm, it's too late now. Everything else that transpires in this game is all about whether or not Bryce just misses a shot.
Yep. His rhythm is more rhythmic than everybody else's rhythm. So he misses one.
Well, it's none of 10 from deep now for the Phoenix in a travelling violation call on Rakocevic. Doesn't make the call. Got a little hard done by being attacked from all corners.
And if you're the Phoenix, you got to think, it's not, you don't want to panic. I said that on the whiteboard in the pregame. Okay, you're down 22. This is a 5.5-minute game should be the mindset. You need to get into the half like around 14 to 16 points.
Sobey from close range, couldn't finish it. Rakocevic holds them off, grabs the rebound. Now White. He wanted to get it to Rasmussen early, but there was no passing lane, so he goes on with the dribble. Now bumped with some problems. The pass not on. Maldonado kept it alive, but still, it's hard to reel in at the moment. Arms and legs everywhere. And Adelaide get it back, and White bounces into the defense, but came up empty, and now Rakocevic for Vasiljevic. He thought about pulling the trigger. It's only taken one shot in the game so far, and a shot clock violation is called on Adelaide.
Now that they've mounted a nice lead and Cotton isn't on the floor, it's time for them to establish DJ Vasiljevic and get him some usage and get him feeling good about himself, because if they want to make a long run in this season and be a real contender, that man right there is going to be pivotal to their success.
Yeah, DJ's got the one shot, but when you got Bryce who's on 22 points, everybody's kind of got to fall in line there. Just be patient. Your time will come.
I hear you, but Bryce isn't out there right now.
Yeah, I hear you right now. So you're definitely going to go through DJ and this group on the floor.
I mean, then that raises a question: does Bryce need to be out of the game right now?
Well, you know how I feel about that.
So Adelaide will get it back.
Yeah.
3 of 5 from deep. His best coming off a single-digit game is 36. Lowest is 15. Right now he's at 22. And his season high, 39, which he scored here against Brisbane in round 2, is in danger.
Derek, you said earlier that Geordie Hunter they needed to get Geordie Hunter more involved. Now, he had the 2 fouls in the first quarter. He's sitting over here right now. He has 2 shots. Guys, 16. At an awesome 50%, but how do they get him more shot attempts?
Well, I thought early on they needed to run more direct action towards him, but now it's tough because you're chasing and you need the 3-ball to be a factor. So his stuff has got to be secondary now.
3 on the shot clock. Rakocevic against Hunter has to force one up. No surprise he couldn't connect, and Sobey upstairs again for the rebound. Board number 5 for Sobey. Now he wants to use it down low. Alier takes on Vasiljevic. Nothing on offer. Outside. Glover puts it on the deck. They've gone gun shy from the perimeter because they're none of 10. And Glover was marched out of court.
Fantastic call, Case. You can see the hesitancy, and you just can't afford to be that way. You got to raise up. Sobey had a good look. He kicked it. Glover turned it down. Now they're in the shot clock pressure.
They have to fire here. Sobey's off the mark. Good work for the O-board there from Alier to keep it alive and present another opportunity for the Phoenix. Sobey baseline, and Hunter with a clean-up too. Wow, it's been tough at the offensive end. The Phoenix have scored just 7 points here in almost 6 minutes of this quarter.
In case they almost need to shut the Sixers out during this stretch while Bryce is on the bench.
Kenyon against his former team. This is Rasmussen. Single digits on the shot clock as White dribbles into the traffic onto the passing lane, and Glover came up with it. Sobey releases Maldonado. Alir wanted the alley-oop. Maldonado too deep with the three.
Is anybody else curious about how many missed threes is the record in a half of basketball?
Here's Kenyon. He's shut down. Sobey's got it again. Reaching in, Rakocevic is going to be called for the foul there. Third team foul on Adelaide in this term. Rakocevic has got his second personal.
Sobey pleading for an unsportsmanlike in that instance. He and Rakocevic having a little conversation, more one-sided. Sobey didn't have anything to say to him.
He made a play for the ball. Just a smart professional foul to stop the break. Number 11's back on the floor for Adelaide. They didn't make a dent in that lead, Derek, when he was on the bench. That is 13 missed threes for the Phoenix. 0 for 13.
Bryce Cotton is 3 of 5 from deep. Vasiljevic game happy to provide to get Rakocevic a good look from close range and his first score in the game.
I like that DJ didn't just settle for that three ball. Attack the rim, get the big man involved. Cardanga's out of position.
The fouls are really stacking up for the Phoenix. They've been blown for 13.
I think that's an evolving part of DJ's game that we're seeing as well. I think he would have fired that last season, and he realizes he needs to adjust. This is all going to work for the 36ers and all the talent that they have. Sobey bounces into the paint, short-armed it. Vasiljevic the rebound, off to Cotton. Only Cheatham ahead of him in terms of teammates originally. He gets it back from Rakocevic. He's feeling it at the moment. That's off the mark. And Hunter the rebound. Outlet pass. Foxwell has Vasiljevic to beat. Vasiljevic did a good defensive job to talk him out of the points.
That was great one-on-one defensive transition by DJ.
Hunter, he pulls the trigger. And after missing their first 13 threes, they finally get a long-range bucket.
The big man, Jordy, said, let me show you how to hit threes from out here. And Jordy Hunter, on the season, Derek, is 50%. Maybe they should run plays for him to shoot threes.
Well, you look at his shot technique, and it is demonstrably sustainable. It's not like he can't step out and shoot that three and knock it down.
Cheatham, look away pass. Down low, Humphries had it knocked out of his hands, and they disrupted him enough to force it out of court, but Adelaide will get it back with 7 on the shot clock.
And Southeast Melbourne have taken 7 more shots than the Sixers. They had 38, but they're shooting at only 26% from the field.
8 turnovers hurting Adelaide at the moment compared with 3 from the Phoenix. Here's Vasiljevic. Phoenix over the limit in terms of fouls here. Need to be careful as Vasiljevic comes up empty. A little over 2 minutes out from half-time, though. They have a healthy 19-point lead after we started this quarter with a 12-point edge.
What's a comfortable lead in terms of the Phoenix going into the locker room? I say 12, 13. You start to feel okay about yourself.
Well, they came from 21 down in the third quarter in the play-in game earlier this year, last season as it was. Mitchell outside, back of the rim. Cheatham the rebound. Behind the back to Cotton.
Danger.
And he's quickly up the floor against the rookie here. Daniel Foster with his hands full. Bryce Cotton can't convert, though. Hunter the rebound. So starting to get a little momentum here, the Phoenix. Mitchell can't get by Cheatham. Foster. Now Sobey. Shot clock to 10 as Foxwell joins in against Rasmussen. Nothing on offer there. This is Foster against Cheatham. Good D from Adelaide. Foster goes on with a dribble, though, and earns a trip to the free throw line.
That was extremely awkward. Tough defensive matchup there for Daniel Foster to try and attack, but he clumsily did a good job in drawing the foul, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Timeout called as well. We've got 1:24 left on the clock here until half-time, and we're celebrating Indigenous round across rounds 6 and 7. Starting next week in the Hungry Jacks NBL. You can support your team this season by purchasing an Indigenous jersey. They're available at nblstore.com.au or scan the QR code in the corner to check them out. I think one of the highlights of the NBL season to see what the teams come up with their Indigenous jerseys.
Every year they just keep getting better and better. Just keep raising the bar with the designs.
30 seconds on the clock. You have to get your own rebounds as well. Thank you to the
speaking of raising the bar, the Phoenix with only 26 points. And strangely, Case, we've seen some very lackluster offensive performances this season, especially from the three-point line as we get the Adelaide Entertainment Center staple, Ken Coles.
Well, you wouldn't have seen the lackluster offense when the King was in charge. I can assure you of that.
Valid.
They were running and gunning back then.
Getting them up. But, you know, we've seen this from a number of teams throughout this season. It's still early, and sometimes offenses do lag behind defenses as players find the rhythm, find the confidence, get their shooting stroke in order.
Adelaide will be happy with this scenario at the moment. Restricted to 79 points against Sydney here on Saturday night. And found the offense a little more fluent in this game as Foster comes up with the first free throw. 9 of 10 from the stripe so far, averaging 14 minutes. Really like what he brings to the table, Daniel Foster. A lot of upside for him as he gets after that loose ball rebound. Averaged 18 points, 9 rebounds in the NBL1 South season, playing for Keilor Thunder. Played with the Nevada Wolfpack in the NCAA as well. Cheatham for Humphreys, who adds another 2. He's into double digits.
Great little fake handoff, little play action handoff from Silent Cheatham. Got Isaac Humphreys an easy bucket.
Here's Foster taking them on, can't convert. Hunter had it, then lost it. Now Cheatham put a stop to it. They get it back to Bryce Cotton inside the last minute of the first half from Adelaide. 36ers looking to lift their record to 4 and 1. Cheatham baseline. Tough shot, couldn't get it to go. Mitchell the rebound. And now Sobey. Skip pass. Here's Foxwell firing. It's off the money. Tip in from Hunter wouldn't work. DJ Mitchell was shut down by the defense.
Jordan got to grab that and go up and dunk it. Oh, goodness. He got this one.
Technical foul is being called on the bench from the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix as they get a little animated. So second technical of this quarter on the Phoenix after John Brown III picked one up previously.
I think Luke Brennan might have got that one, assistant coach.
I think you're right, Damon, and it's always an awkward situation when someone on the bench gets a technical other than the head coach.
I'm just wondering, can you just tell a guy to sit down? That's all I'm asking. Just, you know. Would you mind having a seat? It's almost halftime.
Well, there is the argument that if you step on it quickly, you could tail the problem very quickly. So there is that argument. But the shot clock, 4 seconds inside the game clock as we head toward halftime. Adelaide had this under control, have led exclusively after they couldn't win a quarter last week against the Kings. Here's Cotton, the man that's been doing it all. He's off the mark. Well, Humphrey strong, went after it like his life depended on it and kept it alive for Adelaide. He can have the last say of the half. Cheatham, baseline, comes up with the 2. He's got 6. And Foster from three-quarter court on the buzzer. Oh, this has been a dominant display from the Adelaide 36ers. A half century at half-time. It's 50-27, a 23-point lead, thanks largely to Bryce Cotton.
Well, he came out and established the tone of this game early. Knocked down jumpers, knocked down 3 balls. In fact, that first three-pointer he made off the first possession kind of paved the way for his teammates in this first half, Damon.
What do you even say if you Josh came to your team at halftime? Make shots? I mean, are they playing? They're not playing horrible defense. Yes, Bryce went off in that first half, but you shoot when you 10 for 44 and 1 of 16 from the three-point line. What can you do?
Bryce is with Joe.
Yeah, thanks, Bryce. A great response from you. 23 points at the half. How have you been able to lock in and really find your spots out there?
Just playing the same game I always do. When I'm open, I shoot. When I'm not, I pass.
You guys have been great defensively. What will the message be from Mike in the locker room?
Just maintain. You know, obviously they had a nice little run, I guess, the last 2 or 3 minutes, but we wanted to win that last minute and a half. And it's important for us to not play the score right now.
All right, go catch your breath. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Well, it's the Bryce Cotton Show here at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. The 36ers with a 23-point lead at the half. We'll be back to break it down after this.
kickers. Always make sure your tire pressure is right. Your tire's properly balanced at the line.
It's another way we help you save.
And tire power. Get the power 3 times safety check. That's right.
Time for some half-time entertainment.